Hey guys, welcome to another Homelab Series video. In this video, we're going to be actually doing Windows Server stuff. I know most of my videos currently have been geared towards Linux, which is more of my forte, but there are some actually nice Windows services like Active Directory that I want to show you guys, because at the end of the day, any organization knowing how Active Directory works, how you can connect your application to their LDAP services on Active Directory is actually very beneficial, because you're like, oh, well, what's this filter? How am I supposed to LDAP connection this? So I wanted to create an Active Directory server in my home lab to kind of show what you can do with it. But in this video, we're going to be focusing on how do you create a Windows Server VM first, and then in a different video, we actually create an Active Directory server, most likely the next video. So stay tuned, guys. This video is also sponsored by me, myself, and I. So if you enjoy the content, want to send me some free swag or sponsor me for something, let me know. My email is in the description below. So, okay, let's get started, guys. Okay, so we got our server vCenter here. So the first thing, you need to download the ISO for the Windows Server version. So if you look up Windows Server 2022, because they don't have a 2023, I don't think. Do they? Maybe they do. No, they don't. Okay. We're going to 2022. There is their whole evaluation site. You can actually download the ISO as like a free trial, and it's actually kind of nice because then you can kind of actually learn what it is without needing to like purchase a license, because the free trial is actually like 180 days for you to try it out. There's actually a lot of great things to actually do with this. So here you can register for your free trial, enter the name, stuff over here, click download now. I've already done this beforehand, and I don't need you guys to know all my information. But essentially, you can, for like, if you're doing this in your home lab and you don't obviously have a company name, I just put like home, obviously company size is 1 for yourself, job role is, technician or engineer or whatever you want to put. This is, essentially, this is not like a form that you need to like put an actual company name. This is just kind of for them to just get your data, honestly, at the end of the day. But going past this, once you finish it, it will give you the download link. So I've already downloaded the ISO and uploaded it to vCenter, but that is where you can download the ISO. So we can close all that. So what we want to do is create a new virtual machine. Create a new virtual machine. We're going to name it Windows Dragon Windows Server 2022. Put it in that group. Put it in the data store. Now, you can see how it says my guest version is 2016. The reason for this is because my vCenter is actually so old, and at this point I'm going to just have to create a vCenter video and upgrade my vCenter, because I can. Actually, I'll have to upgrade my EXXi host first. But I actually do have a plan for this. One of my coworkers suggested me to get the PCIe with the NVMe drive to plug into my server and make that the boot OS, so I can try to boot via an NVMe drive. So I have the NVMe drive, but I'm waiting for the PCIe adapter to come. So when we do that, maybe that's the time we'll actually upgrade our vCenter, EXXi host, and then upgrade vCenter. So, but in this case, it doesn't make a difference if you have 2016 on here and you're running like 2020 or 2019, right? It essentially, the main point is making sure you have a backend Windows. So in this case, Windows, and then whatever the highest version you can get. In this case, I'm going to just throw a lot of resources at this. Does it need 8 CPUs and 32 gigs of RAM? By all means, no. But does it make it go quicker? Yes. But it is up to you on what your server is, what resources you have in it. That will define how much you put on it. I'm doing this for purposes just so that it loads quicker. And then hard disk, I usually like to do it at about 100 gigs compared to like the 40 that I usually do for most of my servers, mainly because Windows has like a lot more updates and things like that isn't like a minimal package, right, for an image. So this means you gotta give it a little bit more space. So we're gonna do 100 gigs. That's probably what I would recommend. You could do 40, but once you apply like Windows updates and everything else you want to install on it, it kind of gets to the point where it's like, you know, using more than 80% of it. And personally, I don't like to use more than 80% of any hard drive space because there usually is performance issues at that point. But up to you guys to decide that. I'm just going to do 100. All right. And then we're going to go to our ISOs. And select our Windows 22 ISO. Also, make sure it is connected on power on. By default, it doesn't actually, even if you select it, it doesn't actually check it for some odd reason. I don't know why. So I've missed that multiple times and then go, oh yeah, it's not connected, so it won't connect on power on. So connect on power on and then finish. So once that's finished, you should be able to right click, power on, and get the console. So if you've ever done any Windows install, honestly, they're about the same for the most part. I haven't really found like a super unique window install that's like super different. Most of it is just pretty much the exact same. Oh, except for maybe Windows 8. I haven't ever done an install for Windows 8, but that might have been different. But for the most part, whatever language you want. In this case, I'm going to play English. Click install now. You get the setup starting. You get you know, the fun, you know, Windows boot type situation. Yeah. I remember back in the day, like my very first internship, it essentially entailed doing desktop installs. Ooh, man, that was an experience. You kind of sat there for a while. But luckily there was like multiple you had to go, so it was just like an assembly line that you just went through. We will also do the standard evaluation, but you want the desktop experience. If you don't click desktop experience, you're not going to get a GUI. I'm going to tell you, it's a lot different from an experience. You want desktop experience, so make sure you hit that. Then you hit next. I wish this was running on like an M2 or something. I do. That is my other plan. Okay, so let's accept this and then hit next. My other plan, and you're not upgrading, you want to do a custom install, and then you should see that you have a hard drive that's 100 gigs unallocated space, and we're going to select that, and then we'll hit next. And here, this is where it will actually do the installation from the ISO to the hard drive. That is one of my other plans, though, that I want to do with my server is essentially get some PCIe risers and some more PCIe to NVMe adapters, like ones that you can plug in like multiple NVMe's, and then create a data store off of that, or by I don't remember what the brand is, but I saw it too. Where you can buy essentially a NAS storage that you plug in NVMe's drives. But the problem with that one, and a little bit harder on that one, probably is going to be I would need to actually update to have 10 gig networking between everything. Well, at least between my server and the NAS storage at that point. Currently, I don't. I would love to upgrade them. You know, there are definitely plans for my home lab to kind of get into a bigger, cooler situation to just be able to run files really quickly. Okay, well, this is going to install. It's going to take a few minutes, and if you've ever heard the phrase waiting for paint to dry, this is exactly where I heard this. Waiting paint to dry is watching Microsoft installs. Because it does take a little bit, but I mean, any install really, you know, takes a little bit. So in this case, we're gonna just zoom forward in the video when this is done. So okay, now that I finished installing, you'll get this whole kind of page that says restart to continue. It essentially counts down from 10 seconds. Otherwise, if you're not paying attention, you can actually it will restart in the 10 seconds. But if you're paying attention, you can actually just click restart now and it will instantly restart. All right, so now that it's installed, it's going to go through the loading screen. I do like how they actually created Windows 2022, because I think Windows 2019 was based off of Windows 8 essentially, like how the interface looked, or it was Windows 2016. I can't remember. One of the two were based off of Windows 8, so like the start menu was like the one that popped up all the apps and was way better for a tablet. I did not like that very much. Oh, no, that might be Windows 2012, actually. I think that was Windows 2012. You can see I'm kind of old if remembering stuff back from that. Actually, my very first Windows server that I ever created was a Windows Server 2008 R2 back when I was in high school. I might be dating myself now at this point. But that's actually when I first got into tech. I actually just took a class in high school that was like computer technology and networking, and it essentially just kind of boiled down to, hey, you can, set up some servers, set up some computers, kind of set up your own network. The class was pretty fun, honestly. I felt like we could have done a lot more in the class, but as high school students, it's a lot different, right? Like you get a wide variety of people who are kind of interested in the class and some that aren't very interested in the class. And then they focus, it was a lot of like book knowledge too, that you had to like read the knowledge in the book and then like actually like know the answers specifically from the book phrasing. It was weird, but it was a lot of fun. I actually learned a lot of tech from it. And that's actually when I first started building my home lab, actually. Okay, so now it'll prompt you to create a password for your user. And the user will always be, by default, administrator. So you can hit finish here. And then it should apply. And you can hit... So obviously, if you hit Control-Alt-Delete on your computer, it's going to hit the Control-Alt... It's going to do the Control-Alt-Delete thing here. But in this window, there's a Send Control-Alt-Delete right up in this right corner, so you can actually send it without actually hitting Control-Alt-Delete. I've hit that way too many times. So, now you can log in. And essentially, from like a desktop perspective, it's practically the exact same as like your Windows 10 interface for the most part. So, yes, yeah, you can set up virtual device. There'll be the server manager page that pops up. So from here, you can do a lot of server management stuff. We're not going to do anything in this video, but stay in tune because we definitely are going to do an AD video. There might be some other things too. It has been a little bit since I've looked at what other Windows related services you can build in here, but we're definitely going to do an Active Directory one. So, okay, so that's pretty much it for the install. You pretty much get the ISO downloaded, uploaded to vCenter, install it, wait for paint to dry, and now you have a Windows 2022 server. So if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.